My name is Sharon Thomas, and I will be giving a speech talking about workplace relationships. The first thing I would actually like to talk about in workplace relationships is teacher-student relations. It isn't illegal for a teacher to have relations with a student under the age of 18. This is because at the age of 18, we are considered legal adults and mature enough to make these kind of decisions. They do not agree with that at the age of 17 and under. They believe because they could think that one party was persuaded or influenced to be involved in these relationships and could actually lead to jail time for the teacher for having relationships with these students. This is an issue for anyone involved because it could show signs of favoritism, like giving the student easy A's or giving them passes for projects and their work just not being up to par that the other students are held accountable for. Another issue this could cause is unhealthy relationships between their students and their teacher because they don't know the difference between the line is blurred between teacher and student, and it makes it hard for other people to realize the difference. Another thing I'd like to talk about is relations between boss and employees. This can mean from manager to employee, from even up to CEO to a secretary. A famous example of that is between President Bill Clinton and his secretary Monica Lewinsky. This is deemed very inappropriate by a lot of people and actually led to him being impeached for the activities that he chose to do. It's inappropriate because no one knows how to handle these things, and it's considered very inappropriate by many because it could lead to an aftermath and affects a lot of people also until people may actually lose their jobs as a result. Another issue may come to is PDA. PDA stands for Public Display of Affection. Public display of affection is when people are on top of each other and maybe kissing at work and all lovey-dovey. When people might find that a sight to see, like the couple may enjoy it, but they have to realize how other people might feel about this. They might find it uncomfortable, uneasy, and a lot of people might see it as a distraction when work is supposed to be done at work and relationship stuff should be done at home and in the privacy of their home. This may make people uncomfortable, and especially that and ways of handling that is by handing it off to human resources. Ways human resources can talk about is having the two parties sign a love contract, basically signifying that the two parties voluntarily know they're in a relationship. Also that if anything were to go wrong, that they may even lead to one person being transferred or demoted so that the parties do not have to deal with each other and doesn't lead to further harm affecting the two or others around them. Another step they could take is not allowing companies in the same department be able to see each other and allowing them to be able to date outside of their department. Because I feel like if the companies allow people to date in their department and something goes wrong in a relationship, it reflects on their work ethic, and just the work environment, how it reflects how it works on each other. A good example of that is on the show The Office. The Office shows many signs of good workplace relationships and bad workplace relationships. For examples of Michael and his love for his manager, which led to her actually losing her job, to the famous Jim and Pam and their love at first sight and leading all the way to marriage. It shows many signs of the good of workplace and how to handle it and the bad of how to handle workplace relationships. And that's why a suggestion I can say to fix this is having the two couples, or the one couple, visit counseling to deal with their issues and basically to have them check in on how the relationship's doing. So no one in the company is caught off guard when the relationship starts to go downhill and show a rocky patch that needs to be handled correctly and quickly. Because the longer it deals with, it affects other people's work, their work, and companies will not enjoy spending time with us, and they'd like to move on fast, which is why most couples are against workplace relationships. And I would like to say that workplace relationships should be allowed, but handled correctly and quickly without big fuss and issues. And that if the longer they deal with the issues, the more issues it causes. But if it's handled quickly and the couple itself knows what they're doing in these relationships, that it will work smoothly and work will be just as fine as it was from when it first started.